I was at my friend's house, phone rings, and Tom was my friend's name. Got on the phone, he said, the phone's for you. And got on the phone and it was, hello, Brian, this is Horace Silver. You got the gig. There were I think the two things growing up, I found all the trumpet players that I admired and all the ones that I wanted to emulate. They seemed to either have done one or two things, and in a couple of instances both. They either played with Horace Silver or they played with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. I think the first time I saw Horace was when Randy and Mike Brecker were playing with him, along with Alvin Queen and Will Lee on bass. Great group, and and then subsequently after that, Tom Harrell, we started listening to those recordings like Silver and Brass and Silver and Wood, and I think that's where for a lot of people of my generation, Tom Harrell had a pretty big impact through Horace's music, and of course, like I said, it's one of the proving grounds. That's one big stream, and then the other big stream, and they're kind of related, is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers and all the trumpet players that came out of there, and in some cases, like in the case of Woody Shaw and Donald Byrd and Randy Brecker and myself, we played with both. But I got a call from Horace inviting me to come out and audition for the band. So I flew out to California and stayed with a friend of mine out there and went in for the audition. The audition involves, I believe it was 4 trumpet players, including myself, and the rhythm section of Horace Silver's band, and the saxophone player, Ralph Moore, all playing tunes from his current repertoire, and then all the trumpet players playing back-to-back solos. So it's like more or less like a a trial by fire kind of thing. Everybody playing back-to-back. You could just hear everybody that you wanted to, and down the line. It wasn't like I hear you here, I hear you on this one. It's like you want to hear everybody play. We might have played like 4 or 5 tunes. So I mean, the audition went on for a couple of hours at least. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know if it was nerve-wracking. It was just a lot of fun. I mean, just to play with them. And so I remember a couple days later, I was at my friend's house. Phone rings, and Tom was my friend's name. Got on the phone. He said, the phone's for you. And got on the phone and it was, hello, Brian. This is Horace Silver. You got the gig. And I have to say that was one of the most, if you can think about one of those, being young, being in my mid-20s, and that being one of the most kind of amazing sort of experiences to get in such a sort of blunt and dramatic fashion. That was, that was one of the big. That's still one of the big thrills, and I'll never forget that moment.